Warning: the following content may contain elements that are not suitable for some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back to the Bard's Playhouse Presents Tales from Shadow Valley, Season 4, Episode 15, Axis of Rotation. Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's bring in our wonderful cast. We have Eldritch as Khan, the bloody Rizzolo.
Always great to be here. A little bit gloomier than usual, but I'm still here.
Aye aye, Captain. Shane as Umbromancer Zavid.
I'm here. I am. Would you consider asexual as queer?
Yes.
If
Yes.
so,
Yes.
get used to it.
Already used to it. Elliot as Reese Guiltleaf, the Heartseeker.
Testosterone's making me sweaty.
Yeah, it does that. Welcome to the life.
Yeah.
As always, I am Lumpy
Dar hell.
Bronzearm, and will be your DM for today. Last time, Lux Et Umbra finally arrived to the Ironbound Archipelago. Adelina had shared with Reese that this was their childhood home. Zavid landed the Windseeker a bit away from the Guiltleaf cabin so as not to startle their mother. Through the forest, they followed Adelina until a quaint homestead with a massive pink-blossomed tree came into view. Steeling themselves, the Guiltleaf siblings knocked on the door and waited. A moment later, a lovely old elf woman answered, dropping her staff in her surprise. After a brief explanation that they were indeed real, Reese and Adelina embraced their mother Leilani for the first time in a century. The stay was not long, however, as Lux Et Umbra had a business meeting with Asmodeus to attend soon. Before laying down to bed, Leilani explained that the huge tree in her yard was in truth an Ent shard. Reese and Adelina's father, Gerald Guiltleaf, had been a powerful archdruid in life, and in death he wished to continue the cycle. Leilani buried Gerald with the Ent shard acorn he had worn around his neck his entire life, growing forth the massive tree. With some help from Danny's druid magic, Reese was able to have a short conversation with his late father, learning not only the locations of every Ent shard on Golarion, but also the priceless knowledge that his father is proud of him. During the night, Danny was awakened by strange whispers upon the air. Waking Reese, he too could hear the strange calls approaching by the nearby Mordant Spire. Lux Et Umbra knew it needed to investigate, especially since neither Zavid nor Khan could hear the whispers. It quickly became apparent only elves were affected by this torturous noise. Following the whispers out to the coast, the Mordant Spire came into view. Pipette's home lies at the base of the tower, across the violent shoals. Using Cabreric magics, Zavid gave all the power to stealthily glide over the water, not catching the eyes of any mindless spire elves crawling around the outside. The entrance to Pipette's home was a tiny hole in the side of the tower, so through magic and bendy bones, Lux Et Umbra wiggled their way inside. Within lied a moss-covered cavern deep below the Mordant Spire. Pipette led Lux Et Umbra down to a stone ring pit filled with bones from former faithful witches, before a carved statue of Lao Shu Po. Pipette touched the statue, blinding Lux Et Umbra for but a moment. When their eyes cleared, they stood awestruck at the divine form of Lao Shu Po herself, goddess of stolen secrets made flesh upon the world. With a loud gulp, Khan stepped forward, accepting the power offered her from her patroness. A small piece of preserved godflesh, the meat of a kavna that raised a humble rat to the standing of a god, was placed in Khan's hands. Scarfing down the succulent morsel, Khan's eyes and fur glowed bright with divine energies, burning the very pigments out from them. As the dust settled, before Lux Et Umbra stood their friend, Khan Rizzolo, having undergone deamorphosis, the first Nephilim of Lao Shu Po. Knowing the importance of what is to come, there was no time for celebration. Lux Et Umbra quickly made their way into the celestial hallway, a demi-plane through which divine creatures can travel the planes. Pipette quickly discovered the gateway to Abaddon has been locked tight by Urgathoa. Lux Et Umbra knew this might be a possibility, so Plan B was enacted. The river Styx winds its way through most of the outer planes, including Abaddon. After a moment of discussion, it was decided to attempt to reach the Styx via Abadar's domain, the plane of law itself. Axis. This is where we're going to come in today. Once again, as per usual, within the infinite floating void, and the humongous haromet of Baba Yaga, the Overlady. She looks down to you. Before her lie 12 basketball court-sized cards with familiar faces of PCs upon them. She looks down and says,
Well, welcome back, players. It's been, I think, 2 weeks. Too long for my taste.
It's been
How
a
have you all
while.
been?
Yeah. I've been good. I've been good.
Wonderful to hear. But Eldritch, today is your day. Please step
It is?
forward. 3 have been chosen. I believe that leaves 9.
She
But remember,
runs. She just
you cannot have
dashes out.
con.
Books it.
Ooh, Naruto runs the whole way.
Yeah.
But remember, you cannot pick con with solo.
Yeah, I remember that much. I remember that much. I know we kind of stopped doing our betting, but I would be throwing everyone a curveball if we were.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If you pick,
I know. If you want, we could bet real quick.
Yeah, hold on. I can go back to
Yeah.
regular view. Let's see.
Yeah. Are we throwing it into?
I was gonna say if you
Zoom
pick
chat or Discord chat?
Zavid or Sir Hop, I have no problem doing their voice for the card.
Nice.
To like,
Nice. I will totally let either of you do that.
Alright.
Let's see. Where are we betting? Discord or in Zoom?
we'll do the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Zoom
averting
chat?
my eyes.
Okay.
So I don't see any
think-
notifications.
Okay,
Oh,
there it is.
Get your
Okay, there it
little
is.
foot out of my armpit.
Okay. Let me
Okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna
this
go
is
with
gonna
what I
change
thought.
everything
I'm
up.
going with my original guess.
Okay, so I think I'll do
2 are out. We're still waiting on Elliot's. Okay, all 3 are out there. Con.
all right, cool. Okay. I walk all the way to the card of Baba Yaga herself.
Ooh! All 3 of us were incorrect.
me and Shane thought it was Frag.
Yep, I thought it was going to be Merla.
When you walked over there, I was like, yes, yes. And you said Baba Yaga herself. I was like,
Damn it.
Okay.
I never thought of pick. I kind of thought we were all going to do that one last. So I'm
I
I'm
love
excited to
it.
see what this one will be.
This is going to be a
Yeah.
fun one.
Oh, picking me, are we? Very well. I've been excited to give you a little bit of my own power. Here we are, then.
She reaches down her mighty hand and picks
Cast
up
Wish unlimited times per day.
and she picks up the Baba Yaga the Overlady card, flips it over, and before you is a very small version of Baba Yaga, flowers in her hair, and she looks to you and says,
Well, now, here's a bit of a boon I've been working on for you. I hope you enjoy it.
she pulls out a scroll and begins, I need to get it off there as well, there we go, and begins to read.
Welcome, players. It has been too long since starting your story and righting the wrong. To help you gain glory with aid I endow, knowledge of weakness, ta-ta for now, grants you the knowledge of a single named foe's weakness.
Any foe? Any foe?
Any named foe.
So
You
it
don't
can't
have to
just
use
be
it
like
right now.
Wolf 7.
Right,
So,
exactly. You can't just say
I know what I
wolves
would
or
say.
demons or whatever. But
I
you
know-
don't have to use it now. You can, but you don't have to.
You could wait,
You can
okay.
discuss it. You can wait,
I know-
or you can discuss it, whatever you
I know what I would say because it's the only thing I can think of. And that is the one thing that we're trying to stop from breaking free this entire time. Knowing its weakness would be so good. But also, part of me feels like that might make things a little too easy. I don't know. It's up to you.
We'll sleep on
There's
it.
also the possibility that the answer is none if you go with that.
Which is also good to know. That's knowledge
Yeah.
we didn't have
That is
before.
a possibility. I'm not saying it is, but there's a possibility that the answer is none.
Mhm.
So use that as you would. Choose. I've
It could also
put
be
that
Robocug's
super
weakness.
hyper specific or something. Like it takes months of preparation to figure it out or make it.
Yes, but I've put that in your bag. It's called Baba Yaga the Overlady.
Gotcha.
You can use that whenever you'd like.
Cool. Too bad I already know that Rovagug's weakness is dairy.
We just gotta make him a giant milkshake.
Oh, no.
That's all.
Yeah.
If
I
we
drink
cover,
your
if we cover
milkshake.
Galarian in cheese and yogurt, he won't be able to eat us.
Grotus is made out of cheese. Just crash the moon down into the planet.
Very well.
Go.
I hope that this
Go.
becomes useful to you in your endeavors in upon Galarian. Ta for now.
And Baba Yaga the Small, wow, turns into a transparent blue hologram, as per usual. Now the normal Overlady looks down to you and says,
4 down, 8 to go, and I believe, yes, let's see. Next time, Elliot, it'll be your turn to pick.
Ooh, fun.
Ta for now, all.
And
Bye-bye.
Baba Yaga fades once more into the distance. And you can close out of that map. And this is where we're coming in proper today. Where last we left off, Lux Et Umbra had been within the celestial hallway that Lao Shu Po had brought you to beneath the Mordant Spire. And she had opened up the doorway to access the plane of law, which lies the god Abadar. I need to take the Baba Yaga characters off of the combat tracker real fast, just because it gets really muddled up really quickly with all those characters. Okay, there we go. So, what you see is just bright light at first as you step through this portal. And you feel a tug upon you. And when you once again feel yourself thud land upon your feet, and as your sight returns to you, you see that you're standing inside of a room. The floor is cobblestone. There appears to be a magic symbol on the ground made out of yellow energy with lightning crackling around your feet that seems to be slowly dissipating as the magic of this teleportation wanes. And in addition, give me a perception text in the tower.
Okay.
Okay.
Where's the tower? Who took the tower? Where's the tower?
It's hiding, probably.
It always is.
You
Where's
should
the
lock
tower?
it so you know where it stays.
I do, but then every time I have
Stuff
to
stacks.
things get moved around every time I open the game. There you go.
Okay, yeah. Zavid and Reese, you're both kind of blinded by this for a few extra minutes. Zavid, because you're shadowy. Reese, maybe you had your eyes open at the last moment at the wrong time, like when you have your eyes open for a flash in a photograph. But Khan, you were able to blink right at the last moment because this Nephilim blood gave you a second instinct. And now, as a divine creature, you recognize that you needed to close your eyes as you stepped through that portal. So you don't really have much of an issue with your sight. And the strange thing you see is there are two creatures that seem to be flanking an exit to this room that appear as though they are made of a nebula. They are about the size of a normal humanoid, but they're like a cloud of dust and light and stars. They appear as though an entire galaxy or an entire nebula is simply floating before you in space.
Can I see if I could just talk to them?
Once you get your sight back,
When I
you
get
can't
my
see at
sight
the
back,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah, Khan's the only one who sees this at the moment.
So good to be here. And Khan will do a little like courtly bow.
Okay. And the creatures look to you, and one of them says within your mind, within a language you don't understand, I don't think, it sounds much like whispering that as though through wind chimes. Let me check. Yes, you do not speak this language. But, Reese, you do.
Oh, good!
Because you just happened to train in this the night before because you were a thinker.
Yes.
You are hearing within your head, Reese, before your eyesight comes to you, in the language of Celestial.
Ooh, cool.
Welcome, travelers. We need to bring you to customs. Welcome to Axis. Enjoy your stay.
I grip my ears and howl in pain. Ah! It's like glass on a chalkboard.
Oh,
Reese is the only one who understands it.
Yeah. Reese just goes like, "Oh, hey, I understood that. So we got to go through customs. Basically, they're just security.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah. So he turns and just goes. Does it matter which way we go?
You may go north or south.
Do I need to put my laptop in my bag or leave it out?
Take it out, all electronics out of the bag.
And
Shoes must stay off.
So I have some implants that are metal. Is that going to set off any detectors or?
As long as you have your proper paperwork for them, it should be fine. Do you have your bracelet?
Do we have our bracelet?
I just meant like your medical bracelet.
Oh,
yeah.
that's funny.
Just
Sorry.
continuing the joke.
I didn't know. So yesterday, someone told me that they had enough like surgeries and metal stuff that they nearly got tackled at an airport
jeez.
security terminal because of how much metal it said they had. They're like,
That's wild.
I had surgeries. It's like titanium and stuff, and I thought that was funny. So you brought that up again. I was like, I'll borrow from that, but because I've never actually had that happen to me, I didn't know about the bracelet or anything else about
I
it.
think they have to have paperwork for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are two ways. There's one very large door that these two guards are flanking, and then there's a small kind of step down into a room that's to the northwest of you.
Doesn't matter really then which way we go, guys.
Yeah, let's take the big door, the
Yeah.
official door.
Let's do it.
Well, let me open that up for you here, like that. There we go. What you see in the next room is a massive orrery, very similar to the one you have at Castle Druma. But Zavid only, give me an astronomy check publicly. Just toss it in the chat.
orrery. This is a roulette wheel.
Oh, that was an exceptionally good roll. You recognize immediately that this is not the Galarian system. This is far too many spheres to be your home system. And as you're looking,
Probably planar. It's probably
I was
like
going to say you recognize that it is a map of the planes, the inner and outer spheres, where they overlap.
Okay.
Yes. It is a multiverse map. You rolled very high, 17 for a 43. And there is a little "You are here" pin down where it in Axis.
Hey, what, Zavid, this doesn't look like our kind of globe spinny thing. Why are there more?
Oh, because we're this one, and I point to what looks like a sun. I'm like, but it's not the sun. It's like this is the outer part of the inner planes, which is the plane of fire, and then inside the plane of metal, wood, water, air, and then our universe is nestled safely on the inside. And then all of these are the outer planes.
Can one of you write this down real quick so we have a reference? Because I think we're going to be like plane jumping a bit in the future. This might be
So
helpful.
the outer rifts, underneath that, there's like a little weird snaky thing. Is that the river Styx?
Which part? Oh,
On this
yes,
thing.
the big snaky thing, that is the River Styx, indeed, yes.
Okay, so this is how we're going to be moving. River Styx touches all of these planes. The only two planes, or the only plane it doesn't touch is heaven, because I guess they just can't be bothered to be touching the River Styx or whatever. But the big point is like, there's some overlapping worlds here. Ooh, Creation's Forge, the ethereal plane, the first world.
This is a good map, isn't it?
It's really nice.
Our universe, and then there's the nether world, the void. I see.
I'll
Yeah.
send this to Discord as well.
Okay.
It's the plane of candy.
That is a subset of the elemental plane of Earth.
Gotcha. Fine.
The subplane.
Damn.
And the elemental plane of beer is a subplane of the elemental plane of water.
Makes sense.
hmm
And
It's like Pokemon logic.
basically, I'm like, I explain what you're saying, and then I'm like, all right, the big thing here, Abaddon is on the other side. It would be closer to go straight to hell, but
We
we don't necessarily want to get the attention of Asmodeus early, before we have something to show for ourselves. We want to be in a better bargaining position. Axis isn't going to care. As long as we go through their checks and balances, we can go down the river and we'll be fine. We could probably continue through hell because they also respect the laws of Axis. As long as we've got our proper paperwork and we don't piss off any devils that are stationed to monitor the river, should be fine. Once we get to Abaddon, that's where it's going to get bad. No pun intended.
That's when it's going to get Abaddon.
Urgathoa has shut down the plane. She knows that the only way to get in now is either direct either you have to have her permission, so that's not going to work, or you go through the river. She's going to know this, so she's going to have the river very, if not guarded, monitored. She's going to know when we arrive, unless we are somehow very well disguised. If we somehow, like, say, trade up our ship for something that is expected, like a supply ship from the Hells or something, we might be able to stow away or, like, pretend to be something more normal. We can sneak in under the radar. It's very unlikely we can sneak in with illusion magic. They're going to have ways to sense through that. Like, we would have to, honestly, a more mundane disguise, like a fake mustache, would be more effective than illusions, I think. Like, if a wig would be better than using illusion magic. That makes sense.
I see.
I love this logic so much.
Then
Like, if I wore fake horns, a wig, and I put some makeup on my face to look red, I would look more like a devil than if I just cast a spell.
makes sense to me.
The other thing is we need to figure things out. What we could do, since we're trying to do something against the bad, then if we go through the Hells, if we did talk to Asmodeus, we might be able to do some sort of like a deal to basically use their we could use their assets essentially, and some of their, maybe even get a couple devils as hirelings to make it look like we're just from the Hells. I don't think Urgathoa would think that we are working together with the Hells. And I'm also speaking this freely here because I'm pretty sure that these gods aren't able to spy on the domains of other gods. Gods
You're
can
correct.
shut that stuff down, and they don't want enemies knowing what's going on their plane. So,
You
like,
would know
I'm
that,
kind of
yes.
more freely speaking here because I'm like, Axis, like, maybe you might be able to. The bureaucracy and red tape to listen in onto Axis would probably be too much of a headache for most gods to even attempt. So I'm like, I think we're safe to just speak this. And Axis is they probably don't care. They're going to probably log everything. But by the time anyone is able to actually see what we said, Robogug's going to be dealt with. Like, we're going to be
You will
done
have
with
died
all
of old age by the people by
Yeah,
the time
yeah.
they catch up to the paperwork.
So basically what Zavid is proposing is that I think we have two options. He says, if we could try to just sneak through and go through the Hells and then to Abaddon, and then it come what may. Like, if there's things we need to fight, we fight them, battle our way up to Urgathoa, or we could try to be a little more stealthy, a little sneakier.
Yeah.
But it might require we might need to get some cooperation from devils in the Hells, and that means we might need to make some deals that we don't really want to make, but it would make the Abaddon journey a lot easier, because at least with the Hells, we can come under the guise as like a business proposition, and they're willing to do business with us. Whereas, like, once we're in Abaddon, there's no business to be done. They're going to want to kill us. So, like, we can maybe choose our allies here wisely, depending. But I want to know what you guys think. That's just sort of an option.
I mean, I think it would be very funny if we sneakily snuck through and, like, Han has good crafting, so I feel like we might be able to build something. I am now a legendary in stealth, so that could always help stealth for us since I now have a plus 30 in that.
Ooh,
So
nice.
yeah, so we might benefit from that a little bit. So I'm not against us sneaking in, but that's just my thought.
Yeah.
With all of our powers combined.
The three of you are exceptionally sneaky. And Danny's not sneaky.
Yeah.
She can wild shape in a bug. She can become invisible. Things like that. Gotta remember, you do have your pocket healer. But yeah, there are a couple of options, I guess. Going straight to Abaddon or going via Hell and making a couple of allies. But that's what you see on this Ories, this huge map. You're making these plans. I'm gonna just open up a little bit more of this map here. That'll do. And as you're having this conversation, you start to see a person And I'm gonna move all of you into this room a little bit more.
Okay.
Oh, I don't need the guard.
Thank you all for your patience with my
There we go.
very squirmy, wormy daughter.
Not
okay.
a problem.
Her input is very valuable.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying to teach her about D&D. No, not yet, but one day she's going to be like, Dad, what do you do for a living? Like, I'm going to like turn on my chair and be like, well,
Roll for initiative.
let me show you. And then
Yes.
take you into the magical world of Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
Where anything is possible. You're only limited by your imagination.
Imagination.
And a DM who's not an asshole. If your DM's an asshole, good luck.
Yeah, that does kind of ruin it. But as you're having this conversation about planar travel, things of that nature, you start to see someone walking up to you who appears to be an elf, but give me society checks in the tower. Because this person seems to have
Society.
bright, glowing eyes with a glow of energy following the train
Hello.
of their coat. Yeah, Khan, actually, again, you have this divine inspiration, this sudden Nephilim blood. You recognize that this is an axiomite. This is a person of law. It is sort of like, you know how there are high elves and sea elves and wood elves? This was sort of like a law elf.
Oh.
An elf imbued with the power of law, a denizen of the plane of Axis.
I like her duds. She's very snappily
Very
dressed.
Yeah.
She is straight out of a Pathfinder AP.
Nice.
I can see the Abadar key on her.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
She does have the key of Abadar upon her coat. So you know clearly that she is at least some sort of faithful to the god of commerce, laws, and cities. And she walks up to you and in Celestial says, "Greetings, travelers. Welcome to Axis. Welcome to Sashato."
No speaky celestial. Do you know common tongue?
I know Celestial, but hold on. Do you know Common? It's hurting my friend's ears. I'm so sorry.
And then she switches into common and says, "Ah, yes, of course. We speak the Galarian common tongue here. I see."
breathe a sigh relief.
And she kind of waves her hand in front of you and says, yes, I see. Very well. Welcome to Sasha. God, I cannot pronounce this word. Where the name is Sayashto. Welcome to Sayashto, the city within the city. As planar travelers, we have a lot of paperwork for you to do. But please step into my office.
What's this?
And she leads you past a room that is filled to the brim with filing cabinets. At this point, I'm just going to open up the map. Boop. And she takes you up into a room with a large table. It's like a conference room. There are several tables about, and says, "Please sit down.
Shit down.
Sit down."
All right.
And her office is a lot more scraggly and chaotic than you would imagine for someone who lives in a literal plane of law. There's plaster is peeling off the walls. There are stacks of papers and books everywhere. There's a fine carpet upon the ground and a statue of what appears to be the Lady Justice behind it. But she leads you in here and says, "Yes, welcome to Sheeshto. But we do have some paperwork we must go over before we can let you into the city." And where did I put them? There it is. Assets.
Just like all of our fax machines go off with real paperwork we have to fill out in real
God.
time.
It's
The
funny you
fax
say
machines
that.
that people definitely still have nowadays.
Funny you say that
I'm so immersed.
because I have here. Where is it?
Oh God.
Oh, I
A
hate
customs
this.
form. Did that share?
Yes.
Yes, we have a yellow customs form, which you need to declare any particularly damaging or chaotic items that you happen to have. You also need to declare your god's alignment.
Okay. Reese just like starts filling everything out. Whatever. I don't care.
I'm like asking questions like, does swords count as damaging? Like, do I have to tell you about my... In real life, I had to do this when I went to Japan. I had to declare my swords, and then they confiscated my sword, and I couldn't bring it out.
As long as it's put on the form, we will not confiscate it from you. But yes, it does need to go to the form.
Khan just like takes the entire contents of her backpack and just dumps it out and is counting it piece by piece.
Takes like 10 minutes for her to take every weapon out from her cloak, her boot. Pulls out a longbow, like a pike that's 20 feet long, just like a
Well, she
like
did
a clown.
just get a longbow.
That's true. That's true.
They pull out the like ingredients of a dust-covered bomb snare from like levels 4 that Khan and I built. I'm like, oh, I forgot I had this. I wonder if it's still active. And I shake it, and it like starts to glow. I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna try that here.
Hey, is that over 3 ounces? If so, we need to confiscate it.
I think maybe.
She puts it on a scale. She takes it, puts it on the justice scale.
The scale appears, right? Yeah.
Oh my god.
And then she takes out a couple of coins and clinks them on, and you can see that she's holding a handful of electrum, and it kind of weighs out, and she says, 4 ounces, must confiscate it. Sorry about that. And she puts it behind her desk and puts it in a little box, shoves it aside.
Oh no, not our level 4 snare trap. Oh no.
But the raw ingredients aren't measured by the same thing because it hasn't been put together yet. So if we just had like, for example, saltpeter, that's like that's just a regular good, right?
Hey, that's just a commercial good. That's fine.
All right. And so I'm working with Khan, and we're looking through all your ingredients, and I'm like, we got to make sure these are separate so they don't think it's like one thing. And
exactly. Yeah.
How long does this take?
This takes at least 20 minutes to fill out this one form.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
It's not bad until once it's filled out and she pulls in front of you an interplanar travel permit, which is the brown form. And it requires applicant name, your age, the ancestry, plane you're departing from, plane of destination, and whether we need to know if this is for business or leisure. What is the nature of your visit to Axis?
Business.
Business.
Okay, very good.
She starts filling out that and
I wish I could come back for leisure at some point, but
it is a lovely city. I'd recommend you try.
Then she asks for any type of identification from your home plane in order to approve your interplanar travel.
I have a holy symbol for Kaburi.
Oh, this could work.
Yes, you definitely need to. You need to claim your god on this form because it is chaotic. No proselytizing this now, not within the city.
We're just passing through. We would never dream of doing something like that.
Oh, very well. So you won't be staying for an extended work then?
I mean, how long does it take to go through the River Styx? We're heading to the Hells from here, so.
Oh, you need to get to the River Styx, I see. Well, it shouldn't take long to get there, but you will need to get the approval of one of the what are they called? I have a word for them. It's a politician, but is a petitioner. You need to get a permission from one of the petitioners within Shayashto in order to gain to get access to a boating permit. But I do have the boat rental permit for you here. And she pulls out a different form. It is the boat rental contract that talks about the scheduling, the amount of fees for it, what the client's name is. It has signatures in triplicate, requires a bunch of initials on it as well. So this would need to be filled out by probably Zavid. But yes, so I'm not sure how you will be able to find a petitioner to sponsor you in your boat trip. It is more and more difficult to get tickets these days. But
why is that?
Well, there's less travel between the realms lately. I have noticed. Visitors like you have drained to a trickle. You're the only one I've seen in 3 days.
Is it because the petitioners are not granting permission, or just people are not coming through?
I believe it is both. People are afraid to travel the Styx.
Good. Well, if I wanted to quickly get in contact with them, could I do so through the sending spell, or would I have to go to them in person?
I believe you would need to meet someone in person. I have heard rumors that petitioner Aopal has been missing for some time. He may be up at his winter home. It is a public building, so visitors are allowed.
Where's Mork?
I'm sorry? Oh,
Mork and
Mork? Oh god, that is a great question I had never considered. Where's Groomsh? Or not Groomsh, Gorham. Where's Gorham? Gorham, where you live.
We seem to be really in favor of like chaotic gods. I'm just hoping we have like a lawful god we can maybe talk to or something.
Yeah, I think Gork actually is a lawful god because he's the punch you in the
Yeah.
face, whereas Mork is stab you in the back.
Okay.
Gork would be one of the lawful ones you would have a connection with.
If we were to get in contact with a deity, could we have that deity kind of expedite the permission process?
Well, having this permission would definitely aid you, but you do still need the signet ring signature of a petitioner upon the form. It would expedite the form processing, though. That is without doubt.
We're not in a terrible hurry. We just want to make sure that we don't get stuck here for too long. Let's, pardon me, I'm going to make a personal call.
Oh, very well, but we do need this visitor registration form filled out before you do and before you leave. It's going to require your languages, citizenship status, your occupation, date of arrival.
Okay. I'll start. I'll start
Yeah,
on this
can you
one.
can
on
you
this
fill
one,
this
yeah.
out for us while I get contact with Mork,
Yeah.
maybe?
Yeah, you got
I
it.
think
Yeah.
me and Khan just start filling out.
Before I do though, I look for something. Condescending does that require color or was that?
Yeah, I think you've said you use color before, blue or black. And before
I'm
we do
already
that,
wearing blue.
I just want to call out real quick that my partner made all of these forms for me.
These are really real.
She worked for the government for a long
Yeah.
time.
Oh my god, it makes sense.
So when I was like, "Hey, hon, my party is going to literally the plane of law. Will you make some bullshit bureaucracy for me?" And she was like, "Yes."
That's as exciting as a spreadsheet.
Uh-huh. Uh,
I love it.
so yeah, go ahead,
So
Shade.
I put on a special blue bracelet that I'm saving, and I wrap it around my pinky, then around my wrist, and I'm treating it like a sort of an extension, sort of on a phone number, kind of like almost like a signal booster type of situation. Like this has to get to them. So I pretend dial like GORK, and I send a spell to Gork. By the way, do I speak Gork?
I don't remember. Let's look real
I don't
fast.
think I do, but
I know Khan does.
Yeah.
At the time, Khan was the only one who did when you were all in Belkson. You do not.
Reese can help you there then.
You could do a conference call with
Yeah.
Khan and Reese.
I'll have it on conference. We're all filling out forms and stuff. We're just sitting at this
Yeah.
table anyway.
Yeah. You're not in combat or anything.
Okay. Bring.
I've been waiting for my new weird boy to call.
Oh, thank goodness you're speaking common. We were ready to do a translation to Orcish if we had to. It's nice to hear your voice, Gork.
Nice to hear of a new weird boy. It's been a long time.
I mean, this is all novel and new for me. I've never been outside the material plane, so it's our first time. Wait, and I just checked. I'm like, have you guys been outside the material plane before? Is this your first time as well?
The
No,
first
this is our
time.
first time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about time. You know, we should have been here a while back, just for. I guess you can do business or pleasure, or like a leisure sort of trip. We'll have to schedule a leisure trip when it's not dire.
Axis has some beautiful gardens. It's important to relax after a fight. After all, would you rather have a soldier in a garden or a gardener in a war?
Soldier in a garden, a gardener in a war.
I think it's an old Sun Tzu quote. I might be screwing it up.
I feel like a soldier in a garden. I feel like gardening is like one of those things they tell you to Like,
Yeah,
helps send.
I'm probably screwing it up. I think I probably got it backwards. But Gork would get it backwards. So I'm
Yeah.
going to stick
Fine.
by it. I'm sticking by it.
It's canon, it's lore.
Yeah, it's lore now. He said that.
This child might be taking a giant poop.
Yeah, that's the spirits of the orcs behind Gork.
I said, well, Gork, this is a call because we need to get the petitioner's permission to ride the river Styx, to go through the hells. Eventually, our final destination for this trip is to get to Abaddon, where we're going to be shaking some things up. Hopefully, in doing so, we're going to prevent the rise of the Hungry One and prevent the destruction of the multiverse. That's the ideal scenario, but that's not really a guarantee. This is just we're trying to lay some preparation, some groundwork, right? And we knew, or we had the good feeling that you probably lived in this plane, so we thought maybe we'd give you a ring and see if you could help us out with the petitioning process.
I believe I can point you in the right direction. There is a petitioner in this town, Petitioner A.O. Paul, who's had to go into hiding because people have been threatening him, blackmailing him, trying to get him to step down so they can implant their successor, their chosen successor, in a soft coup. He knows things about a lost person. He would definitely help you out if you can find him.
And before you, right in front of you on the table, you see kind of a glow. And what appears before you, come on, share, where's the share button, is a map of Axis.
Oh my god. Why is Pathfinder just better than D&D in every way?
I know, right? Isn't it
It's
sick?
fantastic.
And then you can see that it's prettier than this, but he circles that area right there in the northeast, and this is the town of, I keep screwing up the pronunciation, I'm sorry. It is town of Sayashto.
This is the town of Sayashto. This is where you are now. He lives.
And the map almost zooms in as though you kind of pinched it and stretched like on a phone.
Whoa.
And it zooms into Sayashto. And he, once again, circles where you are at here.
This is where you are now. The post central number 7. But if you go find Petitioner A.O. Paul in his winter abode, to the northeast in the fields of gourds, if you give him your aid, I'm sure he will sign your paperwork.
And with that, the call dissipates, and the blue wristband burns off of your hand.
Oh, like, wow. Gork is nothing if not intense. Well,
And all
I
of
know
you
our
heard that.
destination.
Yeah.
And I look to our Axiomite friend here, and I say, is this a common thing for petitioners to go into hiding?
No, it's quite strange, actually. I had heard rumors that he'd been running from something, but I had not heard that there was anything like blackmail going on. This is quite strange. You may want to be on your guard. You appear to be quite strong, but be careful if you are going to see his winter home.
Is blackmail illegal here?
Well, unless the blackmail material is legal. If it was obtained by illegal means, like without warrant or things of that nature, then it is illegal. But if it is obtained legally, it is perfectly legal to use whatever material is at your disposal.
Interesting. That means that as long as I go through proper channels to get dirt on somebody, I can use that to make them do whatever I want.
That's right.
Well, I kind of like Axis.
For example, you cannot take images of people within their homes, but it is legal to take pictures through windows from outside their homes. For example.
Oh, I bet you have a paparazzi problem here.
Very much so, yes.
Well, let's get so we're gonna fill out these forms, make sure we're all good to enter the city. Then how do we get passage to the fields? Is there a metro, or do we have to catch like a sort of a taxi service, or do we have to walk?
Well, do you have your own mount or rides for that you have yourself?
We do. There's summons, but yes, we can do that.
Okay, then you will need the temporary parking permit for the summons. That's the blue form here.
Good, awesome.
If you have your
I
own...
knew this. Wait, we don't have a review mirror on a. Wait, I have to install one on the back of Rot Trot.
how many legs does your mount have? If it's 2, you have to use the yellow permit.
I can't believe this. What if it's a multi-legged thing like a centipede?
Oh, if you have 6 legs or more, you have to use the pink one, which looks like this.
You are prep. You are so prep.
I have 3 more.
Well, I want to see him, so let me ask some more questions to let you bring up. What if it's a swimmer? What if it goes underwater? Can we do water channels?
Then you have to have the she foam.
Okay. And that's
sense.
waterproof, right?
Of course, that's the waterproof ones. But then if you have anything that goes through the air, you have to use the light yellow, not to be confused with the yellow permit. And
All
then,
right.
of course,
No legs.
no legs. If it has to, if it either flies under its own power or is clockwork, no legs. Then you have to use the pink.
Okay. So I have a horse that can walk on water and can fly if I use some spell magic. But does that mean I need is there like a fuchsia, like a like a mix, or do I just stick with like one?
That means you have to purchase multiple permits, and she puts 3 in front of you: the regular, the water, and the air. And she says, "There is a discount price for purchasing multiple permits."
Okay, and I looked at you guys. I'm like, I would like to have the option to use the air, even if we don't fly. It's
fine.
nice to have it and not need it, you know.
Money isn't an issue. Go for it.
Okay. And so we're gonna need 3 sets for 3 mounts. Actually, 4 because we got Danny. Danny's
Oh
with
yeah, you
us.
have Danny.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is Danny using her tiger or?
She would probably use her wild shape. I don't think she brought her animals with her.
No, she didn't.
Okay.
I'm not sure if she did. She may have.
So then I immediately swivel back. I'm like, all right, wild shape. Us changing forms. That's not using a mount. Would we need a parking permit if we are a sapient creature and we can just wild shape back into a humanoid form?
Well, for that, you just need your regular visitor ID.
Okay. Then we're good. I'll pay for these passes.
It's
And
expensive, but for you guys, it's a pittance.
It would be so funny if we were just drained of our fortune by getting
just going
parking permits.
through access.
Just
it's
That would
it's
be
about
really,
this.
really funny.
That would be
It's a
accurate.
price of a small mansion for each one.
Right.
God.
Oh God, I'm so glad I had those prepared.
All right, so we get our permits and stuff, and I think after we fill out all of the paperwork, and I'm gonna triple check with her that we're not missing anything, because I don't want to get stopped and be like, "Do you have your such and such form that we didn't fill out because you might have forgot to mention that it might come up? Is there any extra forms that we could have just in case? Say we enter a part of town where it's like, well, you need a form to enter this part of town. We wouldn't think of that, but you might. Is there anything we're missing?"
Well, let me see. I can give you the guest package.
And she pulls out like a manila envelope, or like an accordion envelope filled with a bunch of different forms for less common things that you need. Like if you decide the last minute you want to go fishing, you need a fish and wildlife form. You know, you need something. You want to go hunting. You know, it's got things like that most people don't need on day one, but might need. So she hands you a packet of extraneous government forms.
And these are,
might be
and I don't have to fill these out until we decide we need them. We can come back and then do that process later.
That's right, as long as you get it notarized.
Okay. I think Zavid feels refreshed after this. Weirdly, I think having a system for everything and having a form for everything, I think he likes law. I think he's realizing now that even though he follows a chaotic evil god and like has been very chaotic in how he's operated, having a system has been super refreshing, and he's just he's cheered up a little bit. He's like, this is really simple. Like, I don't know why we don't all do this all the time.
Yeah, Khan's eyes just glazed over.
It's like you
Reese
thought
is
of
just
everything,
thinking
so you
back
never
to
have
his
anything that's like a
days.
surprise, which is sort of nice. It's like safety and routine.
Yeah, and Reese just keeps thinking back to the days with his father, doing stupid paperwork stuff for him, doing the menial tasks, just think, this is the worst.
I mean, you don't miss it a little bit?
No, no, not really. My mind feels like it's going numb.
I
I
don't.
just need a bit of spontaneity, you know?
Well, yeah, but you don't do that here. I mean, we're not buying a house here, you know, we're just traveling through, but it's kind of nice. It's like I've never felt more safe having these forms. It's like by signing a form, I feel sort of invincible. Like you can't do shit to me because I signed my form, bitch. You know? I kind of like that. It feels good.
I can see where that is very comforting, but the whole process of everything is very mind-numbing, but I'm glad that you find pleasure in it, because I don't. Neither
It's more
does
of a
Khan.
safety thing. It's like if you go to an alleyway in a city and you present the form, most cities, the muggers are not gonna care. They're gonna rip your form in half and then punch you in the face and take everything you own. But here, it's like everybody respects the rule of law, and so when you have a form, it's like someone might try to like mug you. But if you've got all your forms in order, they'll think twice. They don't want an inevitable or something coming after them. You know that like kind of makes sense. Yeah, you guys are just like, man, is Zavi turning into a loser or what? Like,
When did Zavid get compacted into a fucking square?
Right?
yeah.
He's looking
When he
more
sque-
square rather than gooey.
Squeezing through that tunnel into Pipette's home made him a square.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
It's like a
yes.
Play-Doh extruder that's a square shape.
Zavid is, as he's talking, he's slowly like shifting into a little square.
Cube
Beep bop boop
form.
bop beep bop beep bop boop 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 boop. He gets like one eye, becomes a Modron. Anyway, we're ready though to
Yeah,
get
I'm
out of
good.
here.
Very
Yeah.
well.
Cheers.
Yep, my cat left me, so I can, I have my arms back.
Wait, did
Okay.
Pipette have to stay behind?
Oh, no, I just haven't moved her.
Yeah.
She's with you.
Help me,
There we go.
Yeah. I like to think that
Meets
Pipette.
family!
I like to think Pipette has like been trying to write in the forms with her little rat hands and a big pen.
Giant pencil over her shoulder.
Because obviously Con has to declare that she's bringing a familiar in.
Yeah, you clearly have to claim that. You're bringing in a familiar, that's right. Because
Yeah.
she counts as magic, she counts as neutral evil. Yeah, there's a lot there. You need her
This is
pet
my
ID.
evil fucked up rat. Where's the form for that?
This is my emotional support fucked up rat.
Yeah.
And you just, I just imagine you holding her up, and you know how rats kind of have that little paunch when you hold them up and they just look so chubby? It's like, this is my emotional support fucked up rat. I'm sorry, we have to bring her through. She's got her own papers.
That was very cute to imagine.
It is.
Well, the last thing before you're allowed to go into the city is you need to go through the sterilization chamber. Well, it's just to get any obvious diseases off of you so you don't spread them to the city. They're to the south here.
Wait, diseases? Are you saying I'm diseased?
Potentially, you have bacteria and fungi from your home plane that are not native here, and we don't want any invasive species.
I'm searching my body. I turn around. There's literally like a mushroom cap growing off the back of my head. I'm like, I don't see anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
This one appears.
Right.
Yeah. This one wanted to come along, so they just put one little spore on the back of my head to just tag along.
But let's see this.
My emotional support spore.
My emotional support mushroom, yeah.
So where are
what's
we
your-
going?
Yeah, to the south here. Once your paperwork's all done, Lieutenant Fanelix leads you down past this room filled with filing cabinets and into this room down here with a bunch of blue circles upon the stone. And Pipette has to go too, so I'll just move her real fast. And then Danny and Zavid also.
The weirdest bath I've ever been in.
There we go. And Lieutenant Fanelix says,
Well, we hope you enjoy your stay here in Shayasto. Be good, Fatherlosh, and good luck to you getting to the river Styx.
and she begins to move back across the floor, pulls a lever, and all of you are bathed in an electrical energy. It stings, but
Am
doesn't
I
actually cause any
resistant, though?
damage. It doesn't cause any damage.
Okay.
You would be if it caused any damage, but
So it tickles. Got it.
it tickles. Yes, it just kind of tickles. But to Zavid and Khan, it's kind of an uncomfortable feeling. But again, it doesn't cause any damage. And she says, "Enjoy your stay." And she goes back to her desk.
Right.
Well, that was an experience. Let's just go.
Yes, before they make us fill out more paperwork.
No!
You're kidding me.
So Pipette holds open the door for all of you, seemingly excited to get going. And as you come outside, you see that you're at the top of a hill. You're in a very large building at the top of a hill, and you are overlooking the city. And I have beautiful art because this city is from an AP. You're looking out in front of you, and just below the hill is this beautiful small hamlet that has 3 rivers running in from different sides that come together in a central ring that seems to be a market square, well, a market circle in the center. Far off in the distance, you see very tall, beautiful spires that are like castles with fields and fields of gourds and produce in between. Off to the far west, or north, I suppose that would be to the left on the image, you see a vast graveyard. But,
Feels
this is
Wizard of Oz.
Kind of, yeah, it's kind of Wizard of Ozzy. But this is the art for Sayashto, the town you are in within Axis.
How do we get to these fields? Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Follow the Yellow Brick Road. Everybody starts singing. We're like, we gotta get out of here. I don't like it anymore. We have to leave.
I need to get out of here now.
Follow the Yellow Brick Road.
Road. But yes, so I'll open up.
No,
this
no, no,
map.
no. How do I stop that? Oh god, oh god, oh god.
What happened?
I was pinging something because I pressed a button and just went like boom, boom, boom. It was bad.
Oh, I didn't see anything. Anyway, but yeah, just there's the map of Sayashto. Where you are is what I just is circled, and then where you need to go is circled to the northeast. So how you get there is up to you. You have all your paperwork. You've got your mount permits now. Well, what do you do?
Let's just go the most direct way. So then we don't fall into anybody's bullshit.
Okay, so Zavid, do you summon the 3 mounts?
Yeah.
All right. So you summon forth Rot-Trot, the Mole Mount, and the Giant Owl. I assume you place your parking permits or your mount permits.
We've got little what are they called? Little hooks, that hikers have on there.
Carabiners.
Yeah, so we are using that to like hook these things on and make sure they don't fall off. And then we'll fly over the town and wave at the peons below.
Great. So you're flying over, and as you do so, it does not take long before 2 hippogriff riders come up beside you on either side, flanking, and they simply call out, "Do you have your paperwork? Just we're the aviation industry of Sayashto."
Hold up it.
They
Flash
pull up
it.
next to you. They look at it. One of them pulls out like a thick wand, and it has a beam of purple light that comes out, and they kind of shine it on it. They tell you to flip it. They shine the light on it again. "Everything seems to be in order. Have a safe flight. Please don't go over 300 feet." And they pull us away.
Sweet.
So how far away is the area that we're going to? It looks like a mile.
Your audio's cut.
Oh, did I?
Oh, it's better now.
Okay. I
You were
smacked my
talking
microphone,
before,
I think.
and you've just gotten very quiet.
Yeah, you're a little quiet right now.
That's weird.
It's like we're coming back somehow. I'm not sure what's going on.
Is that better?
Yep. A little
Yeah.
bit better.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, so let's see. This doesn't have a scale on it. That doesn't help. Okay,
It looks
so
like
yeah,
a
it's
mile,
about
maybe.
a mile. We'll call it a mile.
In this mile, how many times do we get stopped by hippogriff riders? Like different ones. We get
You get
stopped like 7 times.
You get stopped 4 times. Twice by hippogriff riders, 1 by winged lizard riders. They're not dragons, but like little drakes. And then once by just bird riders. They're large eagles. But
Okay.
all of them check your paperwork. They flash the purple light onto your IDs. They check your mount permits. They see that everything is in order, everything's notarized, everything's got the wax seal on it, and they let you go past every time. But it's very annoying. But you recognize just how annoying this could have been if you didn't have the proper paperwork.
Yeah, and I'm realizing too that like the hippogriff riders leave, and then I see more riders coming. I'm pointing at them like they just signed us up. We gotta check your paperwork. Like,
We're from different organization. We have to make sure that the paperwork is right. They're entering a different district of the town.
but are we over that district? Well, you're passing over it. Oh, well, how small is it? They're pretty small. There's about 4 of them in between where you're headed and where you're going. So,
The jurisdiction stretches 400 feet into the air.
but it's only like 500 feet wide.
Yes. So again, you are stopped several times. It's very annoying, but nothing you have to actually do anything about. You don't have to make any checks. You don't have to persuade anybody or anything. You have to cast any spells. But ooh, I did not.
I wonder if we went by ground the next time and we tried to sneak around, if we got caught, right, we would just give them the thing and be fine. There's no law against being sneaky, especially if
Right.
you haven't, but that way we might be able to dodge them and go a little faster,
Be.
We need
Yeah.
to, yeah.
Walking like a sneaky person is not illegal. It's just like breaking and entering that's illegal.
We're
Yeah,
working
going
on
to-
our speedrun strat.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, rooftops. We could run across rooftops. And then if something starts coming our way, we drop down in an alley.
I want Khan and Reese specifically to both roll societies in the tower because Khan, you have proficiency. Or no, Khan, you have underworld lore, don't you?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, use that instead
Yeah.
of society. Underworld lore in the tower.
Yeah, what's the criminal underbelly of the plane of law?
Zavits, just say you gave Khan guidance.
Say you gave
Just-
Khan guidance. I gave Khan guidance.
Khan, you just got a 50 on your underworld lore skill. Nat 19 for a 49. With guidance, it's a 50.
I go, Khan, what are you thinking about? You look like you're deep in thought.
Yeah, so Khan, using your knowledge of the seedy underbelly of societies, which you do know there is that in Axis. Axis is not only the home of Abadar and other good-leaning type gods. It's also the home of Norgorber. He lives beneath the city of beneath Axis, in like the sewer realm beneath. So you know that there is kind of a seedy underbelly to Axis.
Organized crime.
Very organized crime.
Do they all have their
The most
paperwork?
organized.
Do they all have what?
Their paperwork?
You know they pay their taxes on stolen goods. Think about it. That's how Al Capone got caught. He was cheating his taxes.
Yep.
So
That's exciting. Surely this won't be relevant. Surely
Yeah,
not.
so- how would you go about asking people in the seedy underbelly of Axis for information about this politician? I keep forgetting the word. I mean, petitioner. This petitioner,
Okay.
Aopal. Don't know why I can't remember that word.
Well, we know that people have been trying to blackmail him to take his seat away and replace it with a different candidate. So I guess we could ask about what's up with this what's up with this up and coming petitioner who might be up for election. I know should the seat become available through normal means.
I mean, I might be able to help, actually.
Yeah, you rolled pretty good, but Cons was a little higher.
I have connections, and I also
Oh,
have
yeah.
experienced smuggler.
Hmm. What's
Uh,
experience
I've
smuggling?
never been here. How do you have connections already? What's going on?
Y'all are at such a
Nepotism
high
from my
level.
mom.
Yeah, you can make levels make friends so quick. You have such high levels.
Oh yeah.
You know a guy who knows a guy. Is
Oh, yeah.
like the
No, yeah,
Yeah,
so with
right.
connections, basically, you have social connections you can leverage to trade favors or meet important people when you're in an area with connections. Typically, settlement where you've spent downtime, building connections, or possibly in another area of the same nation. You can Use a society check to arrange a meeting with some important political figure, or ask a favor in exchange for later favor of your favorite contact's choice. GM decides DC based on difficulty.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So,
yeah.
I could do that. I also have Underground Network, which is I'm connected to groups that know what's going on in the streets, and you can get information out of them quickly. When you use society or gather information in an area where you have the network, typically a settlement.
Okay.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
could
yeah.
use
That's kind of the
Underground
same thing
Network.
Con has.
Yeah. So if you need any extra boosts, Reese can also work his hands.
Well, both of you got a critical success. The DC was 36, and Reese, you got a 46, and as I said, with guidance, Con got a 50. So how did the two of you work together to find out information about this guy? Like Con said, you were asking about information on the new guy, right? The new upcomer? Well,
Can
I'll
I-
answer... Go
Can I
ahead.
amend my answer to something that
absolutely.
might be
Go ahead.
funny? So, I mean, Khan's mom is a career criminal. So
Yes.
literally, can it just be that Khan seeks out one of her mom's old friends, who
Yes,
she heard moved to the plane of law?
absolutely. I don't have art for someone like that, but yes.
Yeah, we can
you're-
we can imagine. We can imagine.
Yes, we can imagine.
Yeah. I think
Um,
with Reese, what he does is
Wait, no. I know how to make this work.
Okay.
I know how to make this work.
Okay.
Just wait, we're gonna find someone at their house and be like, Colin, the last time I saw you, you were this big, and they're gonna talk about all the stuff they remember that you were too young to remember.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Okay.
gonna politely nod.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
anyway, we're
yeah.
doing crime and we need help.
So I don't have like a place to set you, so that'll be mostly theater of the mind. But you do
Okay.
recall that the last time you saw your ma and pa, they were moving the Circus of Wayward Wonders up to Druma at all of y'all's I think it was Danny's suggestion, because when you anyway, so and you learned that Wasilka the Fantabulous, the halfling mime, had retired once they'd started going to Druma, and you had heard that she had retired to Axis.
We wanted some stability after all that traveling. That makes
Yep,
sense.
she wanted some stability after the traveling, and so she'd made enough money on the road with the Circus of Wayward Wonders. She was able to buy her way to Axis and get herself a little place.
Oh, but yeah, absolutely. We'll go visit with Silka.
Okay, so you go to her place, and you ask around the people in the underbelly, and they can point you to Wasilka's place. And she lives in a small but nice little, I don't want to call it a shack, it's bigger than that, but it's a small house. She has a small garden in the front, a pig, and you knock on the door.
Cottage.
Yeah, it's a little cottage, that's a good word for it. And she comes to the door, and she looks a little surprised. And she waves at you, and you remember she's mute.
That's right.
Yes. So so what do you say to her as she waves excitedly at
Yeah,
you?
just with Silka. Oh, it's so good to see you. We're all passing through. You know, I remember that you had moved here after you left the circus, so we wanted to say hi. Oh,
And she
yeah,
and she
come on
beckons
come on
you in. Coming in. So she waves to each of you as in kind as you walk by, and she gives a deep. Oh, I have an image of it actually. She gives you a deep bow every time one of you comes in. She is again a halfling who has white makeup on her face, a red nose, red lips, very very dark black eyeliner. Her hair is brown, comes down into two braids that hang over her shoulders. She wears a red and black jester's outfit and always carries around a little doll with her everywhere she goes.
What? So
I
she
see this
even-
the circus life novel truly left you.
She does a backflip and goes,
It's a living.
yeah, it's a
Does a
living.
I
Standing
love that
backflip.
in a normal conversation. Oh, I see the circus later. Like, she just fucking does a backflip. He goes, like, oh yeah, all right. Kick ass.
But then she looks at you, puzzled, and then she points just down.
Here?
And points to all of you. Like she points to all of
What are
you.
you doing
looks
here?
puzzled. Yeah.
No. What
Reese
are we
got it.
doing here?
What are you doing here? But like
Oh.
polite, not what are you
Yeah.
doing here? Just hey, what are you doing? What are you doing here?
Yeah. Well, you see, we actually, we need to get in touch with a petitioner, and we heard that there was some trouble going on. Is it true
Muted
that
myself.
someone is, trying to blackmail them to take their seat? That's it. That's
sh-
the rumor that I've heard.
And she looks suspiciously left and right. And then she starts shaking her head, yes, like this. And you can hear all of the bells around her neck start to jingle, jangle, jingle, jangle. Uh, and she pulls out some paper and she pulls out a wand and kind of taps at it. And you can see some ink flow into the paperwork and start to make little animated pictures. Zavid, you can tell she's doing like minor image essentially on this this piece of paper. And it's showing you. Let me think. I just read about all of this last night, so it's a little
Okay.
fuzz. The details are a little fuzzy. I have
Yeah.
to think very hard to not give you incorrect details. So it shows images of two men who are friends, and then one of them gets kidnapped by two smaller people, about half the size of the men. The other one starts to shake in fear, like it's like a stick figure, but it's obviously quaking in fear, and runs away into a large house that's in a field.
Hmm.
Then she swings the wand again, taps it on the paper, and again I'm trying to remember really hard about these details. Uh, yes, okay, so then it shows a bunch of these small people again walking around a town. You see a big crowds of stick figures, and one little stick figure who seemed similar to the ones that stole the large man away, kidnapped the larger man.
Mhm.
But it's going through these crowds, talking to people. Eventually, they like lift them up on their shoulders, carry them around the town. And then goes back to the man in the castle, or in his house, and he is just shaking, scared still.
So can you identify who the little people are that are blackmailing the shaking figure?
I believe I have a name for them. Let me see. Yes. She taps the paper once again, and the ink forms words that say, "The Secret Shade." And Zavid, roll me a religion check in the tower, please.
Yeah, if it's a cult, could I use school in secret?
Or yes, do that instead. So that's what you roll occultism, or
I think, yeah, which is lower than my religion,
I'll
but
reduce the DC.
yeah, the DC's lower, perhaps.
I'll make the DDC way lower.
Where's my, there's my sheet. Okay.
Could definitely use Underground Network to figure that shit out.
This specific thing is very much a religion check,
Okay.
or his occultism thing.
For cults
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take that. So the Secret Shade. It sounds a lot to you like, well, you know that beneath the city of Axis there lies another god, Norgorber, who lives in shadow beneath Axis, and not many know that he resides there, in secret. So something tells you that this is probably connected to Norgorber in some way,
Hmm.
who I can't remember off the top of my head what he is the god of. I'll look it up real fast.
God of mafias.
Norgorber.
There's a mafia. A
Greed, secrets, poison, and murder. So yeah, mafia stuff.
I'm the one that started it all. To me now on the day of my daughter's wedding, asking a favor. Alright. I would like to relay what I know to everybody. And I'd also like to say it's possible, since we came in here and we were pretty out in the open, especially with flying in the air and stuff. Perhaps no one's noticed, but I don't know how many people. Do a lot of people fly through the air, or were we like the only ones flying?
Quite a few people do, but you could see that they're kind of in lanes. You know, in like the Fifth Element, how everyone's kind of flying
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
highway lanes. It was
Yeah.
similar to that, and you could tell that most people have like a really reflective license plate, essentially, so they don't normally get pulled over. But you have the temporary permits, so everyone just needed to make sure.
Yeah. It's possible that we drew attention, maybe. It was a short flight. We only went a mile. So it's also very likely that no one noticed us in that short time. But if Norgorber has their fingers in the bureaucracy of access to try to keep tabs on what's going on, it's possible that even our friend Lieutenant Alex could have been one of those eyes and ears, maybe getting paid on the sly by Norgorber. Might have told them that we are here for some illicit purpose, would know that we're here to find him and they would be tailing us. That is worst case scenario, and that is what we should be considering.
This could go all the way to the top.
Good.
Or to the bottom, is what I'm saying.
Oh.
I think we could bait them just to see. We're not in a hurry.
No.
If we, and I look over to with Silka and I say, and I'm sorry that if we brought any sort of bad sort of juju to your place, you have retired. This is not something that you would need to get involved with, but they might ask you questions or try and see if you know anything about us if they're trying to figure us out. So I apologize.
And
But
she
we should-
kind of bows her head to you.
I think we should go somewhere. A different cottage. Not the one that we actually know where he's at. But somewhere that's maybe within the farming area, but that's like not the same one. Go in. Maybe, we'll pretend like we know the people there and just be like, hey, I don't know, we'll figure out. I'll let you guys figure out how we get inside, but we just sort of like
We're
Figure
looking
out
for
what
an
this guy-
Airbnb.
what does the guy look like? Do we know what the man looks like that we're trying to find?
Great.
We need to figure that out.
You could ask Wasoka, and she could do her minor illusion thing again. And
You can give me the exact image of what he looks like. I can then use that to create the disguise.
She draws. It's not a great facsimile, but you get an image of what it looks like an elfish man. But she has said he is an axiomite. They are very similar looking. They're law elves, as I said. Very, very kind of attractive, blonde-haired elf man.
I just look at Reese.
Yeah.
Where the bottom half, the top half of his hair is blonde, the bottom half is like a crimson red, and he wears very, very billowy clothes,
Yes.
very aristocratic. He's a politician.
Strawberry vanilla hair. I like it.
Strawberry vanilla hair. That's a great way to put it. Yes,
Sorry, I'm leaning back like this. My back hurts. I'm kind of like.
you're good.
We're not going to dock you points for poor posture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look,
Grease.
that's my wheelhouse.
Do we have some glowing contact lenses? Can we just stick those in?
I mean, is there anybody in our party that has like any, wait, how long do minor illusions last?
Well, minor that doesn't last long, like a minute, I think.
But you can do like disguise self, and I think that's at least an hour.
Yeah, we could do
I
a
think. In
disguise
fact,
self.
Danny has that, doesn't she? She's got all
Yeah.
that
I
magic.
believe so. Yeah, she's got bard stuff. She can
Yeah.
absolutely do that.
She can, yeah, that works, because all she has to do is really change my hair and a couple other things.
Mhm.
Danny's gonna give you a makeover, and you're gonna look just like this dude.
So what?
just like in our childhood.
What is the plan again? I'm just trying to exactly.
We
figure out.
are being paranoid as usual, and we want to
Sure.
shake Norgorber off of our butts. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to some random cottage that isn't the one that we know to go to. We're gonna somehow work our way in there. Maybe we'll pretend like we're selling the people that live there or something. I don't know. I was gonna leave that up to you guys because you're more creative than I am with that stuff. And then once we're in there, we change Reese's appearance to be that of the guy that we're after. So we leave the place with him. So now he's out in the open. So Norgorber's people will be like, they got him. And then they might like confront us. And we can then decide either to fight them or to press them for information or follow them back to their guy. because we actually do know where to go, but like we could withhold that information. Maybe we could bargain with Norgorber or something. We're not in a rush to get the hiding guy. The hiding guy's still hiding. Like they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But if Norgorber doesn't know where they're at, then we might be able to use that information to our advantage in order to get easy passage through the hells to Abaddon. That's our main goal.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sad about this guy. It sucks that he's getting blackmailed. He's not our first priority. Our first priority is saving the universe. So, like,
Yeah.
All you need from him is his signet ring, essentially. Like you don't
right.
even
And
need to.
so
Strictly speaking, you don't even
Norgorber's
need to
gonna
save
help
his
us
life.
with that, I'll work with the mafia. I don't give a
Yeah.
shit.
Who fucking cares at that point?
So basically, we want to flush them out as our thing. Not necessarily to fight them, but to just get them out in the open.
Han and Reese
Okay.
don't have seedy underbelly connections for no reason. Come on, let
That's
us use
right.
them.
True
Yeah.
enough. True enough. All right. I think this is a great place for us to take a quick intermission. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
gonna
So
go
we'll be
get a
back
snack.
in 10 or 15 minutes. Grab a snack, grab a drink, and we hope everyone will join us. See you shortly.
Bye. one left. And hello, everybody!
Hey, welcome back. We are back from our intermission. Thank you so much for joining us. When last we left off, Lux Et Umbra had arrived into this town of Sayashto in the plane of Axis, the elemental plane of law. They are attempting to gain access to the river Styx. In order to do that, they need the permission, essentially, the authority granted to them by a petitioner. But they are. It seems that there seems to be some kind of underground dealings going on, some blackmail, some political subterfuge happening here, and it seems that Nor Gorber has whispers about him. So Lux Et Umbra is attempting to be a little more sneaky. So where we came in, I believe it was Reese and Khan, were trying to find some kind of a farmstead. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, like one that's not right next to the one we're going to, but one that's like maybe in the same general area.
Okay. So you're able to ask around, and you found that there is a farm nearby that's run by two Axiomites, two law elves that are called Razayesh and Jaxael. They have a farm of gourds, and recently they've been having kind of a bum harvest. But you know that there's only two of them, so it is a small farm, and it would, strictly speaking, if it comes down to a fight, there's only two of them. So. But you did hear about this kind of lonely farm that hasn't been doing too well recently, just out of town.
Does Danny have some druidic magic?
She does. I haven't prepared her spells for the day, so I can prepare essentially whatevs. But yeah, she has up to
Have,
6th level spells.
Like a plant growth type of thing that can help out.
I'm certain that is a spell she can have. Let me check. Plant growth. Yeah, 4th level, sure.
We can offer them for their cooperation in this thing that we're doing to improve their yield as a result.
I'd be happy to do that. It takes a little while. It's a bit of a ritual, but Zavid, you're good at those, right?
Yeah. It's like, what, an hour?
It's 1 day, but you do a thing that reduces shit like that, right?
I think that's for undead version. Like, if I have to raise undead, I can do that really fast.
Well, it's a half-mile radius, so I would say we could make it shorter if because their place is not a half-mile radius.
All right, let's do we'll do a shortened version of it to cover just their farm, and then in exchange, after we're done, we'll just basically be inside their house to make it look like we're talking maybe to the person that we're actually after, but really Reese is getting disguised.
Yeah.
Are you disguising him before you set off, or once you're inside?
No, once we're there.
Once we're there, yeah.
Okay, great. So you were able to find directions to this farm. It wasn't too difficult. You bribed your way through it essentially, because this is a lawful place. But with laws come criminals. You can't have criminals without law. One can't exist without the other. So eventually, you do come across this small farm that might look familiar to Eldridge and Shane from the first time you met Danny. But I'm recycling an old map. It's fine. But in the fields there, you do see that there are two elves. There's a man who wears leathers and high boots who has a quiver and a bow on his back. And there is a woman who appears to be bedecked in a lot of vines and leaves, a lot of greenery and browns. She has long, curly, wavy green hair. Both of them have long ears. They're clearly elves, but they're both working in their fields. And if you click yourselves and then Alt-click, you can have your... Oh, I didn't unlock the map. There you go. If you click yourself and then Alt-click your mount, you can move them both simultaneously.
Yeah, I think it's shift-click.
Is it shift-click? Okay,
that's what I did.
Got it. Yeah, shift-click.
No, I still suck at this.
Click, hold shift, click the other.
Okay, now I got it.
Yep, there you go. So one of them, the woman, she sees you and waves you over, and in Celestial, Reese, you're the only one who understands it. She says, "Greetings, travelers."
Reese says, "Hello, do you speak Galarian Common?"
Oh, we speak a little, not too good. Learned school. No practice.
That's okay. I can always translate for my friends.
Great. Want practice? Not
Great.
great, but cherish chance.
All right, yeah, we could. If there's nothing you know in Galarian common, just say it in Celestial. I'll do the translating.
And the man also walks up and he says, "No, learn, school." In common. That's
Yeah.
all he was able to get out. But she says, "What?" And she kind of switches back to Celestial just because it's easier for her. And she
Yeah.
says, "What brings you to our farm? What can we do for you, strangers?"
And what are we exactly looking for? Just
Yeah, Zavid.
We're offering them a deal. We want to enter their house to pretend like we're meeting someone here in exchange for using their house in this way. Danny and I will do a ritual that will improve the yield of their farm. After we're done with that ritual, we'll disguise Reese and then leave.
okay.
That's it.
So essentially, he's just like, well, we come obviously from out of town, and we know that people like tailing other people for reasons, and we just want to make sure our travels are safe. So we have an idea for a boon for you if you're willing to accept something that'll help your land.
Oh, well, been having lots of problems with the land lately. The earthworms have been gone ever since those strange little people walked by the other day.
Oh, those. Okay. Yeah, no, we have a very powerful druidic caster. We could help your lands, and maybe we'll take care of those little people who stole the earthworms or whatever they did. You never know.
I want you to roll me a diplomacy check. Any of you can aid or give guidance, whatever you want. It looks like everyone in the party is just trained in diplomacy.
I cannot help because I don't speak Celestial, and I don't think I could actually.
And you're also untrained in diplomacy as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. Good time for a nat 20, Reese, for a 40. Yeah, so they are completely thankful. Oh, yes, we've had such problems since the worms have been gone. We would love any help from any druids. I know a little bit of druid magic myself, but not enough to bring back the gorge. Oh, please, yes, come in, come in. And again, nat 20, so good job. Really good time for that. They excitedly open their front door for you and allow you to go in. And I don't have like a separate map for that, so you can just sort of put yourselves on the roof.
Okay.
All right. All right. Oh, I must.
Oh, right.
It's-
Oh, right.
Oh, let me get rid of that lighting.
Yeah.
How do I turn off the lighting? I like this? No. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. What?
Boom.
What? Oh my gosh.
Here, I'll get you.
Yeah, please.
Click. Boop. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So for this ritual, what do we need to do?
I just had it open. Why did I close that? Plant growth. I'll drop it in the chat. Bam. 1 day. Well, we're shorter than that. Secondary casters 1, so it's just going to be you and Danny, which is fine. Primary check is expert in nature, which Danny has. Secondary check is farming lore or survival. Do you have either of those, Zavid? At least trained?
No.
I have survival trained.
Ah, so Reese can actually help, and Zavid, you can be the one to like be managing the ritual, but they can be do the caster
Well, then,
checks.
in that case, I can do a guidance on
There you go.
on each
Oh,
of you.
yes.
Awesome.
So are you going to do the ritual after or before you make Reese
We
disguised?
do it first. First things first. Let's just do it
Sure.
so these people are happy, and then we have the time we need to
Yeah.
get Reese
Absolutely.
gussied
So-
up for his role.
Perfect. So Danny and Reese go over to the field, and Zavid, I suppose, as well. So we need, what did I say? Nature expert. So Danny, that'll be last. So Reese, I need you to roll. I don't think you have farming lore, so
No.
survival check publicly with a +1 from guidance.
1 survival. 33?
33, yeah, this is a 4th level ritual, so that is. I should have had this, so let's see. 4, the DC on that is 23. So, yes, that is a crit, actually.
Okay.
So, Danny will get a +2 with a 3 from guidance. So, a 3 from Danny. Nature.
All right, Danny, don't fuck this up.
34, that is also a critical.
Awesome.
So, what happens? And see, there it is. She rolled a net 8. She could have gotten a lot higher, but it was a critical by 2. Critical success, double the crop yield in the area or increase the area to a 1-mile radius. Oh! Well, I would say you could increase it to the half-mile since you're doing a shorter version. If you wanted, you could increase the radius to a half-mile.
Cool.
Or just double the area, the yield in this area. Your choice.
What? Double the yield.
Yeah, I was about to say, let's double.
Double the yield. That's fantastic. So,
That way they don't have to go so far. They can just
Yeah.
manage the one area that we help them with.
yes, I like that. So what does this ritual look like? I'm kind of stalling for time for myself. What does this look like when you do this?
I think Danny probably sing a song to the plants or something Disney princessy, you know?
Mhm.
Like she'd like serenade them and then they'd start to like grow and bloom and stuff. Like like Snow White, and then it would like spread throughout the whole area of the thing.
Very good. I like that a lot.
It's
So-
an I want song for the plants. That's what it is.
As she's singing this song and Reese, you're helping out, you start to see plants start to sprout from the soil. Just little buds. And they start to grow in front of your eyes as you see more and more of them simply popping up out of the soil. And then, as this happens, both Rajesh and Jaxiel look floored, completely flabbergasted at the power brought to their farm by these strangers. They immediately run back into their field, excited with their farming implements. They yell to you, "How can we ever thank you? This is more of a bounteous harvest than we've seen in several seasons. Thank you so much. Of course, you can make yourselves at home. Anything of ours is yours. For you, get yourself something to eat."
I
They
say
get back to
loudly,
work.
"We are looking for somebody in your place. We will search it. Then when we find who we are looking for, we shall leave."
Of course.
And then
Thank you so much.
I like walk in there. Yeah, once we're inside, Reese and Danny, who already worked really hard on this ritual, now you guys got to work hard on a disguise.
That'll be easy work.
Yeah, Con
I'll
can tap
pull-
in and like help with the makeups while Danny like takes a nap or something.
Yeah. I'm here for this.
And I'll worry. I'll sit here and I'll worry about what we're gonna do next.
Yeah.
So there is the illusory disguise spell. 3rd level, you can appear as any creature of the same size, even a specific individual. You must have seen the individual to take on their appearance. I'm going to count the drawing that Wasilka made for you.
Yeah.
The spell also disguises your voice and scent, and it gains the auditory trait. Well, you don't know what his voice sounds like, so you're going to have to do like performance checks if you want to fool anyone who knows what this guy sounds like.
All we need to do is draw out one of the agents of Norgorber or whatever, and then once we have them, we don't need you to pretend to be this guy. You can just undo the disguise and be like, "Take us to your boss."
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Great. So, Danny is able to use this spell. I'm just gonna. It's gonna say insect form in the chat, but that's just her 3rd level spell slot. That's what was there.
It's gone terribly wrong.
It's going terribly wrong, and Reese looks like a bug now. That's just burning her 3rd level slot there. So, Reese, you don't change very much. Your jaw becomes a little more chiseled. Your hair grows, and half of it turns red down from about your collarbones down. It gets a little bit more wavy. Your clothes become more pillowy and billowy, and you look real fancy. It's not anything that's different to the rest of you, but Reese looks
Everything
very
else-
fancy.
I look just very fancy. I love it.
All right, so you're heading out to try and draw these forces out, is that correct?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay. So, the Razayesh tells you that the small ones that came by when the worms went away, they were headed to a house far to the north of town, which is near that giant graveyard I showed you in that art.
Yeah.
It is the house of someone named Taldaris, and I want everyone to roll me a society check in the tower.
Got it.
Radiant. Oh boy, here we go. We live in a society. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I don't
Holy
think-
shit. Really? We do?
Yeah.
What?
Listen, I'm blowing minds every day, and that's one way.
All day.
I'm telling
day.
people the truth.
Khan, you realize that the name Taldaris sounds really familiar to you from your history lessons as a kid. The land of Taldor is named after Taldaris, who was the first emperor of Taldor.
Eldore, the
Yeah,
Critical
Taldorai. Well, no, not from Critical Role, but in Galarian, there's a country called Taldari or Taldaris,
Okay.
and that is the name of the first emperor of Taldari.
Oh, and was this like a long time ago? But he was
Yes,
the
a
emperor?
very, very long time ago. There have been many emperors.
year.
Since.
They just formed.
I believe the current ruler is Grand Duchess something or other. Grand
Something or
Duchess. Crap, I can't remember her name. That's fine. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it's currently Taldari is currently ruled by a Grand Duchess. But yeah, Taldaris was the name of the first emperor. You know that from your history. So
Oh.
it'd be like hearing someone say they were hanging out at the house of Alexander the Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of that equivalent.
Gotcha. Yeah, she does like a little kind of questioning double take when Reese translates.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, Taldarish, I think he comes from your material plane. He's an inevitable.
Inevitable?
I think Shane Zavid knows about that.
Inevitables are creatures of law that enact cosmically binding agreements. Essentially, if you make an agreement, specifically with someone from Axis or a devil or any like lawful entity, they will have it be witnessed by an inevitable. So if you try to break or renege on your agreement, the inevitable will come for you. What gives them the name? You don't want to break an agreement like that because inevitables are very strong and they're usually good at getting what they desire, which is your forced cooperation in paying your debts.
Gross. Okay.
Very good. Very, very good if you want your contracts not to be betrayed upon.
Makes sense. Okay. Well,
I just
Dunno.
realized I have an image of what Reese looks like right now, if Fantasy Grounds will ever load properly. His name is Petitioner Aopal.
That's the true fantasy. Thinking that.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Petitioner, do I not have image for him? I thought I did. Dang it. Aopal?
We just need to take Reese. We need to dip him just a little bit into some red dye.
Just a little.
Back down.
dip
Just
his
whoop,
hair a
and
little
then-
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, dry it off and he's good to go.
It's great. It's just like perfectly.
You look like you'll kind of look like a paintbrush, kind of. You know.
Almost. Dip dyed. Oh.
The JPEG file, why is it not working? That's very frustrating.
I also, you know what I like? I like having the. Every time there's like a handsome or pretty elf and we need to do a disguise, just look at Reese.
Reese.
Like, all right, Reese.
Yeah.
He's just like, look, I fit the bill. I know it. I gotta work with it.
Truly, your good looks are such an asset right now.
They really are, though.
Heaven knows neither of us could pull this off.
Yeah. Look, when we find a rat that we need to disguise ourselves as, then I'll step up to the plate. But
If we have a pile of shit we need me to be disguised as, I can do it.
You could just like turn into a pile of goo. It's just fine.
I found it. Thank you for riffing for me. I figured out why it wasn't working. So, here is an image of what... Come on. Share. Allow me to share Fantasy Grounds.
The way you said that's like in
There it
Jurassic
is.
Come on. There we go.
Okay. This is an image of what Reese looks like currently.
Um,
He's
Ooh, okay.
Yes, long
Oh.
strawberry vanilla hair. I really like the description on that. But this is
Very
what Reese, what you
gorgeous.
see as Reese now.
Oh, how did he get hotter?
Yeah, Reese got hotter somehow.
Yeah, it's like, oh no.
Oh no, he's hot.
Yep. Pretty
Well, I mean,
much.
literally the only big difference I can see is that your jaw is kind of stronger. You could get surgery for that, if you really
I'm
want it.
good. No, I'm really good. I don't need it. But this is just interesting.
You might want to keep the look on the hair. You could just keep that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Red is very becoming, it looks like. So yeah, no, I'm not against red. Blue has been my color for quite some time though, so I understand. Yeah.
Oh
There's
my God.
attachment.
What mork spells do you have?
You have Krumpen and the invisibility one, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So purple and gold, right?
Yes,
Yo.
purple and gold.
Okay, all right. Just deck yourself out in actual gold stuff, and then gift yourself the purple version of this hairstyle.
Oh my god, right?
That is, then you never need to be. You can change up your outfit however you like, as long as your hair's purple and you got the gold fucking bling. You're good.
Pretty much though.
Just an
Yeah.
idea.
Purple is for invisibility.
Yes.
We all give you compliments and admire this transformation. Danny's just got like, she's like sweating, her hair's a bit messy, like my work is done.
Yeah, she did a great job with this canvas here, this canvas that we call Face. So I think that's a plan, right? Heading to Teldaris' place to try and. All right, so I want Zavid to. Let me think. Yeah, give me a sailing lore publicly, Zavid, just to because you're kind of be flying over. You're gonna seeing if you're dodging cops, that kind of thing.
I think we
Ooh.
were gonna go low.
Oh, you're going low? Okay,
Yeah.
great. Even better.
We'll fly,
Better.
but we'll basically hover across the rooftops, and anytime someone comes down to like check on us, we drop into an alleyway, and now we're going by foot. And then once the sky's clear again, we can go back into an alley, come up, and so like, if we get stopped, obviously we'll give them the paperwork, but we just kind of dodge them on the way to our location, if that makes sense.
Give me stealth checks in the tower, all of you then.
Okay.
That's
All
no
right,
issue.
so- I hope it's a good one.
Reese coming in hot with a natty twundo for a 50. So, using Zavid's strategy of flying real low, ducking into alleyways, using back roads, using frontage roads, dirt roads, all these kinds of things, you're able to get across these fields, these wide open fields, surprisingly agile, with a surprising agility. There we go. And using information gleaned from people around town, it's pretty easy to find your way to Teldaris' home, which I have here, but I just need to put everyone on the map currently. Now I can share. You can close out of that farming map. And here you all are in front of this large house. There are rose bushes out front. There's a hedge fence around the outside, and a small fountain in the back. I should have put Fog of War, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. But this is what you see from the outside.
I'll look to Reese, who's in character, and I say, do not speak, not draw attention to yourself. We're taking you here as your new hiding location. I say this kind of a little louder than I need to,
Mm-hmm. I got you.
Yeah.
Your security is very important to us. Your security guards.
Wink.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
No talking. I like cut you off. I'm like, shh, it's not safe yet. And then I'll kind of usher you in, and then I'll be like looking out. I am looking to see if we're being followed, but I'm also kind of being deliberately a little bit kind of dumb where I'm looking like if there's a good hiding spot that like, ooh, I would be hiding there if I was killing someone. I deliberately don't look there.
Okay.
You know?
Give me a perception check in the tower.
tower. Come on, we're baiting. We got this juicy little worm on a hook. We're baiting it. Come on.
Okay. Yeah, you think those rose bushes probably wouldn't be a great hiding spot because they are rose bushes, thorns, you know? So you think if you were to like stop and smell the rose, that wouldn't be like you're obviously looking for someone hiding, you know? There doesn't seem to be anywhere out here that is a super obvious hiding spot, except maybe like on the roof if you were an archer or something. But you don't see anyone up on the roofs.
That's actually kind of good. That's good for visibility. I'm gonna cast True See.
Okay. True seeing. Go ahead and burn that slot.
Yeah, and then if anybody is invisible, so they don't have to hide, I can see them just standing out there like, oh, and then they like dive in the bushes or something.
Does true seeing allow you to see through walls, or is it just things that are within?
It just sees through illusion. So if the wall is an illusion, then I would see through.
But if it's a real wall, you don't see through it?
If it's a real wall, I wouldn't. But if it was also disguised in some way with illusion magic, like hallucinatory terrain can disguise real structures to look different, I would see through that. It would still be, the structure would still be visible, but it wouldn't look like it normally looks.
Or with your true seeing, you see that the hedge fence around the outside is basically one large arcane ward. It would basically explode if you tried to like sneak in over that hedge fence.
Okay.
But that's the only thing you see from the outside with your true seeing. There's no one hiding anywhere, no invisible creatures.
I examine the perimeter.
Okay.
I'll like circle around and just make sure. As I do, I want to then like I don't want to take too much time on this. I want us to look like we're in a hurry, so I like to do that quickly. It's a little bit of a rush job looking, and then get inside, and then I'll look to Reese and be like, I think we've sold this performance as best we can, so now we just have to wait. We might get a knock on the door from the people that want the person.
Looking around back, you see that there is a garden. Teldaris maintained immaculate gardens as a petitioner, though the flowers and shrubs grew slightly unruly after he became an inevitable. However, on Axis, even the untended weeds grow in a straight and orderly fashion, you notice, in his back garden. Like I said, I plucked this directly out of an AP, so there's a lot of little fun things like that around in this. So yes, you said you're going in the front door there?
Yes.
Great.
Knock, knock, just in case.
There's no response to your knock, but the door is not locked.
I will say, in accordance to guest and host decorum, we will enter this household until such a time that its owner comes back and may eject us from the property or welcome us as guests. I open the door.
This broad hallway connects all of the ground floor's rooms. The front door is made of aging wood with a brass mail slot about 2 feet off the ground. The door shows no sign of having been forced open. That's it. Door shows no sign of being forced open.
Why can't we move our tokens?
We are locked.
Sorry. There you go.
Thank you.
Yippee!
I always forget to do that. So you're good into this first room here. There is a stairway just to your left. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 exits.
Okay.
And again, you don't see anything with your true seeing in this room either.
Okay. I do see that there's this little, inside this little area, this trap door that leads up that we could use to go.
It's a stairway that goes up, yes.
Yeah. I want to check up the top floor coming in here.
Okay, this time you do see something. Good lord. Are you sneaking or no?
I
guess I would sneak.
Okay,
Since I don't know if I don't want to upset an inevitable.
Yeah, I would definitely have my sneaky thing on for us walking through here.
Oh yeah, you just rolled a 50 on sneak. I'll just let you keep doing that. So
we didn't. So let me be clear. We didn't actually run around in circles going yippee in the center. We were much more strategic than that.
Sure. So what you do see is let me pull up again. I have descriptions for this. What room is this? This is B6.
Floor, right?
Yes, this is B6, which is
like a big empty room with bookcases
There
along
it
the
is.
wall?
Integrated shelves line most of this room, filled with books of all kinds. Tall windows open to the north, providing a stunning view of Axis's distant capital district. And in addition, sitting at that table, you see what appears to be a gnome or a halfling. I can't recall. I think she's a gnome. Yeah, she's a gnome. But you can't really see her face because she's wearing a cowl. And come on, give me the image of her.
I see her.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a larger image of her.
She
There we go.
grows. She covered in.
Yes, yes. What you notice immediately is her face, arms, and legs are actually worms. Writhing
Oh!
masses of worms. That's what you see sitting at that desk. They have not noticed you. Actually, let me roll perception. Actually, let me double check.
just in
Because
case.
you did roll a nat 20 for a. No. Does not see you.
Now I have my true seeing. Do I see through anything?
No, this is not an illusion, and that freaks you out.
Well, I
This
know
person-
I know of a symbiotic creature
Yeah.
made of fungus.
That's true.
So I'm like, this is real. The little lady here is made of worms. Or covered. Looks like made of worms. And I'll just look to Khan as you are our rogue, and I'll be like, how would you proceed? Would you try and put a knife through their throat and say, like, don't move? We have you surrounded? Or would you want to, like, maybe be more diplomatic? What do you think?
Let's try diplomacy.
I
Let's try
agree.
it. Because I don't
Alright.
think that you can like stab it and battle too much.
Let's all quietly walk into the room and stand behind her so that we have the jump on her and then say, hello there, or something kind of snarky and funny.
Sure.
That's a good idea, yeah.
Well, y'all are the one with the 58 stealth, so you can
Yeah.
do what you
I'll
like.
let, Reese, if you want to lead us on that. And then
Reese
I'll
just kind
follow
of
you.
just like walk. The way that he does it is like we walk just normally, but we're so quiet that we just startle. It's not like we're trying to punk her on purpose, but we're just so smooth.
It's like
that-
Batman.
Yeah.
So we show up. You're still disguised, mind you.
Yes.
And I'll look to you guys for permission to speak. You guys give me the go ahead.
Mhm.
I just look out the window and I say, beautiful day today, isn't it?
In what language do you say this?
Can I
Is it
make a
once?
society? No, actually, this is like a cult sort of situation. Can I make a
Mhm.
check to know what would be my best bet?
Absolutely. Go ahead and make an occult check in the tower.
Okay. I was on the wrong thing. There we go. Cultism.
Ooh, that was really good. Yeah, you remember that elf, Razaish, told you that this small person walked past their farm and the worms were gone after that. They disappeared. And you see that this person is dressed in very green, earthy tones, and you're starting to figure that this is probably a druid. So druidic Sylvan would be likely, and since they appear to be a gnomish would be a good choice.
All right, let me double check what I got. I'm opening it up. Come on. Come on.
So notes, you have Abyssal, Aklo, Common, Dwarven, Elven, Infernal, Necral, Shadow Tongue, and Undercommon. None of the three I said.
Elven wouldn't be good.
Maybe. No, it is like a druid, a gnome, I mean.
Damn. I have so many languages and none of the ones that I need for this character. I guess
Common.
I won't say anything. If I know this, I'll look to Reese or
Yeah.
on
Look over to
open.
me and just kind of like do that. Well, what do you think? What do we say? And Reese just out of all those languages, I don't know if Reese knows, but he can do his sort of English.
You can, but I just recognized Danny has Druidic because she has a Druid dedication.
Oh, thank God.
Ooh,
And
so
he
Danny
just
might
goes-
ask
just
about
goes-
this.
Danny might have to
Like-
take this one.
Yeah.
He goes, "Wonderful day, isn't it?"
Wonderful day, isn't it?
And I'll have her roll diplomacy, and I'll give her a +2 from y'all helping.
Okay.
She'll say it
All
in
of us
Druidic.
helping by lurking behind her.
Yeah, we're all just doing like hand signals to each other and like.
And she just like rolls her eyes, is just like, guys, I got this. This is druidic, clearly.
Yep, so she says that to this person. Wonderful day, isn't it? And they turn around, very startled, knife in hand, as in the image, and they say,
Who are you? What are you doing here?
and you guys can kind of speak for Danny. I don't want to have to interact with myself. No one really likes
Sure,
seeing that.
yeah. Does anyone want to do Danny's voice? I can do it if not.
I want to hear you do Danny's voice.
Oh, yeah,
honestly
we do.
same.
I was gonna say you could be
Use your
doing
girl
that earpiece
voice.
thing, but do that. That's funny.
Sure. She says, "What are we doing here? Why, I should be asking you the same thing. Stealing earthworms from those poor farmers and breaking and entering into an inevitable's house? Not the smartest decision."
Breaking and entering? No, this is an empty house. We're just watching it for the time being. And stealing? Goodness me, the earth provides my worms to me. Who are you?
I think we have you at the disadvantage here. We'll introduce ourselves in time, but first, explain to us who you are.
I'll have Danny roll intimidation on that. Unless, is your intimidation higher than a 33?
Let me double check. No.
Okay, then I'll just give her a 2.
3 is really high, by the way. That's very high.
I'm gonna give her an extra 2. She rolled a 40. That's pretty good. So yeah, you're starting to intimidate this person. Let me see what their 37 is their will DC. So Danny beats it by 3. So yeah, kind of leaning in on the fact that this person is surrounded. They look to you and they say,
My name is Nibs. I was sent here by my superiors to just sit on this house. We were told to take out any intruders. I guess I shouldn't have been reading.
It's all right. We are merely passing through. Why don't you tell us who your superiors are, and then we will give you the pleasure of knowing our names and our business here. No need to break out into violence when we might do better working together.
I am part of the shadow. We run the sewers, and we're trying to run part of the surface.
Well, isn't that funny? And you're looking for this man, aren't you?
Yes, we have been. I've heard we've drove him into hiding, but we've been trying to snatch him up before the election. It seemed as though he fell ill.
Danny will look to you, Reese. If you want to undo your disguise, you can do that.
Yeah, he will. We'll let it drop.
Fraudsters!
Well,
Where's the petitioner?
We don't
petitioner, we know their location, but we're not going to give you the location. However, you might still be able to please your superior. Why don't you take us to your boss, and perhaps we can strike a deal that can benefit both parties.
Well, I know for sure the boss would be pleased if I brought the petitioner down into the underrealm, but what is in it for you?
Oh, well, your boss is the top deity for underworlds and criminal networks and how they work. Let's just say we might need someone who has experience like that where we're going.
I see.
We have the same end goal. Essentially, if we fail what we're doing, your boss will have no worlds to sort of rule over, under or over.
I know that the boss desires power and control, but, well, I suppose it's better than having you put a knife into my heart. Sure, I'll take you.
No need for that. Though, if you don't mind, maybe return some of the earthworms that you took from that farm. We had to use some of my druidic magic in order to bring them back. If you could just make it so that they can still till their crops, that might be enough for us to not lay a hand on you before going to your boss. Would you agree to that?
Very well. I can give back some of the worms.
Much appreciated.
Yeah.
Are they
and,
gonna
she-
bounce around on one leg because the rest of the worms went away?
She gets
Yeah.
4 inches shorter.
She shrinks a little bit. Danny will flash a very charming smile, like, thank you. And then she'll turn to us and be like, they'll cooperate.
Awesome.
Oh, thank goodness.
But Nibs is neutral now. So yeah, Nibs is no longer going to attack you. Because you very much got the drop on her. That was a good time for a nat 20 on your stealth there, Reese. So she tells you that she packs up a couple of things and tells you,
You need to be sure to not go into the ballroom downstairs or the meeting room in the other side. There's some nasty surprises down there. But I can take you to the sewers. We can go immediately if you need to.
I've never been happier about not going into every room
Yeah, right.
than just now. Thank goodness.
now that you are basically friendly with, no, not friendly, but you know what's up.
Non-hostile.
Non-hostile. I'll show you what's up. In the big room to the bottom, to the left, there's a axiomite clockwork golem that I wouldn't have given you the chance to be friends with it. It would have just attacked you immediately. In the meeting room to the right, there are bound soul eaters, which are these weird, what are they? Are they undead or no? They're fiends. That they have crazy perception magic, so there's no way you can really hide from them. And then there's a trap on the stairs that's called a Nightmare Wriggler's Trap. It's just basically a bucket of nasty worms that crawl into your nose and your mouth.
Oh, I hate it.
And I figured it out before we went up. I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it. And
dang.
Yeah, you were able to avoid it.
Good.
We
Or
beelined
rather,
where we had to go.
you
That's so
beelined
good.
Yeah, you went precisely to the place you needed to go and avoided all of the obstacles.
Good.
Mhm.
Love that.
But I think right before heading to the sewers, I think this is a great place for us to stop.
Yeah.
This week.
I think so, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I know next week Elliot is out, so we're going to skip next week. We can tentatively plan for the week after. Anyone else know if you have anything? Let's see. 2 weeks from now.
Let's see that week.
What is this? Today is the 28th.
What is this?
Come on.
What is
calendar.
this? It's the 11th.
The 11th. Yeah. If anyone knows if you have anything on the 11th.
Should be
I think I
fine.
do.
All right, cool. Then tentatively we'll plan to play for the 11th, and we'll see y'all then. Hope everyone has a good time.
Have a good night.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye everybody.
Yeah.